The coffee in my hand was lukewarm, much like my marriage to Megan had become. I remember staring out the window, watching the rain streak down the glass, each drop a tiny mirror reflecting the grayness I felt inside. 10 years, a decade we'd built together, brick by brick, or so I thought. Lately, the bricks felt loose, the foundation unsteady. Megan was distant, her phone a constant companion she guarded like a fortress. Her laughter, once the soundtrack of my life, was now reserved for hushed calls she took in the other room. I wasn't a fool. I knew the signs. The late nights at the office that didn't add up, the sudden interest in a new gym on the other side of town, the scent of a cologne that wasn't mine clinging to her scarf. Each one was a small cut, a paper cut to the heart, insignificant on its own, but collectively bleeding me dry. I wanted to confront her, to scream and demand the truth. But what would that accomplish? Tears, denials, and a shattered home? No, my pain deserved more than a messy, predictable ending. It deserved a masterpiece. My revenge wouldn't be loud or destructive. It would be silent, precise, and devastatingly elegant. It started not with anger, but with acceptance. I accepted that the Megan I married was gone. This new Megan, this stranger living in my house, was playing a game, and I, Daniel, was about to change the rules. My first move was subtle. I became the perfect husband. I started bringing her coffee in the morning, just the way she liked it. I'd leave little notes on the mirror. I planned date nights to our old favorite restaurants, places filled with ghosts of happier times. I wanted her to feel comfortable, to see me as predictable, safe, and utterly oblivious. Her guilt, I reasoned, would be my ally. With every kind gesture, I was sharpening the blade, not for her, but for the life she was secretly building. While playing the doting husband, my nights were spent differently. After she'd fall asleep, her phone carelessly left on the nightstand, I'd slip out of bed. The digital world holds all our secrets, doesn't it? I wasn't a tech genius, but I was a fast learner. A simple data recovery software was all it took. Deleted texts, call logs, location history, it all came flooding back. His name was Mark, a work colleague. Their messages were a sickening mix of inside jokes and plans for their future, a future built on the rubble of mine. The anger was a hot, molten core in my chest, but I swallowed it down. Emotion was a liability. I needed a clear head. I learned everything about Mark. His job, his finances, his ambitions, his weaknesses. He was a financial advisor at a rival firm, and he was a bit of a peacock, proud of his killer instincts in the market. He loved risky investments and bragging about them. Perfect. The next phase of my plan involved our finances. Megan had always left the money management to me. "You're the numbers guy, Danny," she'd say with a dismissive wave. For years, I had meticulously managed our joint portfolio, growing our nest egg steadily. It was our future. Now it was my weapon. I began quietly liquidating our shared assets, stocks, bonds, mutual funds. I converted them to cash. I created a new, separate bank account under a corporate entity I'd established months prior. It was a tedious, complex process, navigating legal loopholes and transfer limits to avoid raising any red flags. Every transaction was a silent victory, a quiet click of the mouse that echoed the ticking clock on her affair. I was deconstructing our shared financial life, just as she was deconstructing our marriage. Meanwhile, I used my knowledge of Mark's investment style against him. I started feeding anonymous hot tips onto online financial forums I knew he frequented. These tips were tailored to his greedy nature, pointing towards volatile stocks I knew were about to tank. It was a gamble, but I'd done my homework. I watched from the sidelines as he took the bait, hook, line, and sinker, pouring his and, as I would later discover, Megan's secret savings into these digital black holes. The day it all came to a head was a Tuesday. I remember the color of the sky, a brilliant, unforgiving blue. I'd received a notification from a private investigator I'd hired. A simple picture. It was Megan and Mark kissing outside a small boutique hotel. They looked happy, carefree. I walked into the kitchen, the photo burning on my phone screen. Megan was there, humming to herself as she made a smoothie. She looked up and smiled, a bright, false smile. "Hey, hun, you're home early." "Just wrapping a few things up," I said, my voice eerily calm. I held up my phone, the screen facing her. I didn't say a word. The color drained from it. The smile dissolved. the blender whirred to a stop. Her eyes darted from the photo to my face, searching for rage, for tears, for anything but the calm, placid smile that was spreading across my lips. Daniel, I can explain, she stammered, her voice a whisper. Oh, I know, I said, still smiling. I'm sure you can. But before you do, you should probably check our joint account, and maybe give Mark a call. I hear the market was a little rough on him today. I watched the confusion war with panic in her eyes. She fumbled for her phone, her hands shaking as she logged into her banking app. The screen loaded. Her face went from pale to ghostly white, a zero balance. Years of shared dreams gone. What? What did you do? She breathed, looking up at me, her eyes wide with horror and disbelief. Protected my assets, I said simply, my smile never wavering. Our life together was a joint venture, Megan. You breached the contract. I just liquidated my half. As for your business partner, well, it seems he made some poor investment choices. Very poor. I turned and walked out of the kitchen, leaving her standing there, a ghost in the ruins of the life she'd tried to steal. I didn't look back. The lukewarm coffee was still on the counter, but I felt a warmth spreading through me, a sense of clean, cold, and calculated victory. My revenge wasn't about shouting matches or broken plates. It was about a quiet click of a mouse, a zero balance, and a knowing smile. And let me tell you, it was so much sweeter. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss the next one. See you soon.